for the premiere of Mzungu Memoirs. At this time, we ask that you would please take a moment to turn off all cell phones and other noise-making devices. There will be a 10-minute intermission until the performance of I'm Telling You. We'd like to invite you to a reception and time of discussion with the actors following the second piece. Thank you and enjoy the show.
In my chair, like a baby, craving so many impossible things: justice, forgiveness, redemption. I crave to stop bearing all the wounds of this place on my own narrow frame. But I also want to be a person who stays, who goes on feeling anguish where anguish is due. I want to belong somewhere, damn it! To scrub the 100 years war off my own white skin till I can walk out among my neighbors, wearing nothing but raw sinew and bone. Like they do. It took 3 days to feel that rub my skin off way. 3 days into 4 months in East Africa. It only took 1 day to be called Mzungu, white person, for the first time. But that alighted in me a shiver of excitement. I'm here right now. By day 3, I longed to be more than Mzungu, to scrub my skin off and walk out among my neighbors, but instead of exposure or vulnerability, my name merged with a snow-white complexion I never thought of as distinctive before. As a white skin-wearing inhabitant in East Africa, my presence remained surreal. Guys, we're in Africa right now! Pinching refused to suffice, so I shook my hands instead. Hearty, spontaneous shakes that attempted to make me feel a place so far from me. The surreality is that I fly all the way to Africa and I'm still following myself around. I cross the Atlantic and I'm still here. So I shook my hands in an attempt to be here, to be a part of here. But the distance between me and Africa is so intangible, it feels tangible sometimes. I realize the distance I had always dreamt of crossing, the distance between the east coast of the United States of America and the east coast of the continent of Africa, is so much more than mileage. Crossing it would take much more than flying 37,000 feet above the Libyan desert, passport in pocket. And I did need to cross that distance. I needed to cross it to learn how far it is from home and how dear that place is to me. I needed to cross it to receive a bit of faith back again. To be affirmed in my questions and encouraged to live faithfully without any answers. A speaker in Rwanda referred to the question of justice as a boomerang. A question you throw, ask, and inevitably receive back in your own hands. I have a lot of boomerangs. Justice, forgiveness, redemption, across this impossible distance.
These songs of freedom, this all I ever had. Redemption songs, redemption songs, redemption songs.
I have baggage. Previous relationships. Tendencies. Mistakes. Accomplishments. Stereotyped plans and desires. Dog-eared and torn. Margins full of side notes. A semester abroad freed me from that. Freed me from the worn representations of myself I'd worn into. So I was surprised to find me following myself around. Relieved to find me alongside and inside this renewed self in East Africa. Joyful to find some bookmarks faded or dissipated in transition, and others clearer in contrast. I spent 10 days in Rwanda, with green mountains towering overhead and rice piling on my plate at every meal. I never knew Rwanda was mountainous. I knew Rwanda for the genocide in 1994. Less commonly known, maybe even than the mountains, is the way genocide was rehearsed in many genocides.
October 1990, January 1991, February 1991, March 1992, August 1992, January 1993, March 1993, February 1994.
The political world knew genocide was coming. And on April 6, 1994, it was instant. Ibiangwe na genocide. Devastation. I learned of churches, convents, and schools turned into killing centers. Pastors herded their congregations into house after house of God to turn around and let death win.
Nirube Kubungo, 20,000 dead. Niamata Busera, 10,000 dead. Nyange, 2,000 bulldozed with church.
The genocide left over 300,000 orphans, over 85,000 children at the heads of their household, over 500,000 women were raped by men known to be HIV/AIDS positive. It's easier to get angry than be humbled. Life shows forward in Rwanda. I went to a village of mud homes where children are the head. In one, a photo of family members lost in the genocide hung on one wall. And on another, a poster of Canadian rocker Avril Lavigne. At a community center, I bought soap from genocide widows. It leaves my hands with a slight residue, slightly softer. The depth of the wound Rwandans unveil is a testament volunteers that the ushers recruited. Come down and lay on your back. I'm just gonna go. And it might be less distracting for you if you close your eyes. Just lay down on your backs. You can fill in some space here. And it might be less distracting for you if you close your eyes. At the Kigali Memorial Center, there are 15 mass graves. 258,000 bodies fill them. We each represent 17,200 deaths. Can I call them more than deaths, or bodies, or victims, though? They were. They were men and women and children. They were born to mothers and learned to walk. They befriended. They loved. They hated. They had favorite colors. Leaving the Marumbai Memorial Center, where I walked amongst line-preserved bodies, I wrote in my journal, I see my mannerisms mirrored in those of the Rwandan genocide victims. Sleeping her hands curled quietly under a face just the way I drift away each evening. But these hands are white-laced with lime, and these faces are not gently drifting into rest. Hundreds of bodies, room after room of white skeletons, rid of the skin that deemed them fit to die. This place is beautiful. Each ride gasps at the landscape. But it's not the beauty of the mountains that seek out God in me, it's the depth of pain. The yearning for some relief to the struggle to stand in the knowledge of such evil. Presence. Such evil. Hey, you can return to your seat. I left Rwanda the same, in at least one way, in awe of a country's beauty. Now with new surprise and frustration and joy at each Mzungu, I hear yell in my direction. Now with new admiration for every man or woman carrying a world unknown to me atop their head. That's what so much of this experience comes down to. This is a world far and wide unknown to me, and I'm without the neck to lift the weight. Still my heart aches to travel. Prods my hands and feet to move forward, and placing bits and pieces above my snow-white complexion. In the weeks before I left for a semester abroad, a commonly asked question was,